Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well today. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold, but I am doing better today and have a little bit of energy and motivation to do some sewing. Just had my little cappuccino for the morning, and I really want to make a couple of cute fall pieces today, which I'm excited about. I want some cute little things to wear for the holidays, and Thanksgiving is coming up. I think this will be my Thanksgiving outfit this year. So last night I put together all of my pattern pieces and cut out a little jacket and skirt set out of this beautiful fabric. This is a wool cashmere coating, and I just love the colors in this. I think it's really, really pretty. It's kind of like a berry color with some brown and taupe, and I'm excited to see how it goes together. One thing I'm really excited about is the skirt design. I'm using a pattern from Apolline Patterns, and it has godettes in it, which I've never sewed that type of style before. So I think it's going to be really cute, something a little bit different. And then the jacket is from Tilly and the Buttons, and it is their Sunny jacket, which has a really cute collar. It kind of reminds me of some of the Hill House jackets that they do, and I hope that it will go really well. I'm going to line the jacket as well. They have an add-on that you can purchase for the lining pattern. So hopefully a couple of fun fall pieces from all of this sewing. I'm going to start with the skirt. It looks pretty simple, honestly. It's just kind of like a lot of side seams, little waistband, and some faux pocket flaps, which I think I'll add some cute buttons to as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and we'll see how these pieces go together. I wanted to give you just a quick look at the basic skirt design. Here are all of the pattern pieces for the front laid out. So you can see we have the sides, the center, and then the two little godettes. And then these two small pieces are the pocket flaps. I think it's just a faux pocket on this. And then we also have the waistband. So really it's just a lot of little side seams to put this together. And I'm kind of feeling like on this one, I'm just going to wing it a little bit. I don't really want to use the pattern guide because I'm feeling honestly kind of lazy. I just kind of want to sew it together. So I'm going to get started pinning and sewing and seeing how this goes. So I'm just going to start by pinning the godettes to the side of the skirt, and then I'll stitch this in place. Then I'll unfold it and be able to sew this all as one seam. I think that will work really nicely. So we'll start there. Also, while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and sew the two pocket flap pieces together so that these are nicely lined, and then I can set them into the seam really easily. Okay, so I have that piece added to the side, and then I went ahead and pressed the little pockets. So I think they look adorable. So these I am just going to place right above the stitching for the godette, and that's where they'll be encased into our seam. So this should be pretty easy. And then from there, I'm just going to pin the middle piece in place. All right, now I'm going to run and sew this side first just to make sure that everything works as it should. Oh, so I did have that upside down, so let's flip that around and redo. So here's the front of the skirt now that it is assembled. I love the little pocket or faux pocket detail. So these need to be held down with buttons, and I think I'm going to use these little gold and pearl buttons. I think that's going to be really cute. So that will just be sewn all the way through to attach the layers of the pocket and the skirt. And then for the back of the skirt, I'm just going to assemble it in the same way. It just doesn't have the pocket flaps, so very simple. And then we'll be ready to attach the two sides together. Okay, so it's a little bit later in the day, but I finished assembling the back, and now I'm going to sew the front and back pieces together along the right side seam. then I'll be ready to work on the waistband. One thing that's kind of interesting to me about this pattern is that the side of the back is cut on the bias, and it actually looks like it's a bit smaller than the front. So I think that's just a fitting stylistic choice, and I'm curious to see how that's going to play in how it actually fits. I'm loving working with this fabric so far. So now I'm going to add the waistband to the top of the skirt. And I was kind of trying to decide how I want to do this because I don't really want to have stitching showing on the outside of the skirt. So what I think I'm going to do is sew this together with the right sides together. And then when I fold it towards the inside, I will just sew that down by hand all the way around inside, and that will keep things nice and clean. And I can even wait till the end of sewing the whole skirt to do that, and it will work just fine. So I think I'll just start by putting the waistband on, and then I'll add the zipper. We're moving along quite smoothly. I'm ready to add the zipper. I just decided to pick out kind of a natural color zipper. I couldn't really decide what would look best with this. Now that I'm looking at it, maybe more of like that burgundy tone would have worked well, but it's an invisible zipper, so you really aren't going to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my zipper and then sew up the side seam. All right, I am loving this pattern so far. It's so simple to put together. I definitely am not doing my best with the pattern matching, but I think it's gonna be a really cute piece anyway. So I'm going to work on pinning the waistband to the inside now so everything looks nice and clean. I'm going to go ahead and try and prep all of the hand sewing because my best friend is about to call me. She lives in Saipan, and so we talk on the phone once a week, but I think the time difference is like 15 hours or something. And so usually I have time to work on a little project while we're on the phone. So I'm going to just make sure everything looks really clean, and then I'll sew all of this down by hand. All right, so I've got the waistband pinned down and ready to stitch in place. And then I'll go ahead and add the little buttons while I'm at it, and also probably a hook and eye right here at the closing of the waistband. And then from there, all I need to do is try this on and hem it, and I'm really excited to see how it fits. I think it's super cute so far. All right, hi friends, it's the next day now, and I finished up hemming the skirt this morning and adding a little hook and eye. So this is done, and I love the way it looks. I think this is the cutest little pattern. I'm excited to see how the whole outfit looks together, but we're at least 50% of the way there, and very cute. So I have a couple of hours this morning, and I am going to try and piece together the outside of the jacket. Then I think this weekend I'll spend a little bit more time working on the lining and everything, but I think I can get the outside kind of pieced together in the next couple of hours. So that's what I'm going to focus on for now. But yeah, I really love the way this is looking. I posted a little bit about this on Instagram last night, and some of y'all were saying that it looks very similar to Samantha the American Girl, and so I love that reference. I think it is really fun, and the fabric is quite similar of a color scheme and print, so very fun. I feel like my goal is to dress like an American Girl doll most days, so I'm not mad about that. I also need to clean off this table. Much better. Okay, so to start on the jacket, I'm going to assemble the two front pieces. So this is made up of the center, the side, and the yoke. And so I'll start by sewing the center and the side together along the front, and then I can attach the yoke to the top. Now, since this jacket will be lined, this should be pretty quick because I don't need to do any seam finishes or anything. So I'm just going to get this pinned together and stitch it up. I really tried to match the pattern up there, but it's just slightly off, but oh well, I think it won't be super noticeable in the whole lines of the jacket. So that is one side of the front. I'm going to repeat all of that for the other side. And then for the back of the jacket, this goes together in the same way, just without being split in the middle. So I'm just going to attach the yoke to the jacket back. Okay, so I have pressed all of those seams open and made sure everything is looking nice and neat. And now I can go ahead and do my shoulder and side seams to assemble the outside of the jacket. Okay, I really quickly went ahead and sewed the side seams on the sleeves and pressed those. So now I'm ready to set the sleeves into the jacket. This should be pretty simple. So I'm just going to take my time and pin these in place and then stitch all the way around the armhole. I love it when the sleeve seems to fit just perfectly. That worked so well to pin it in. So I'm going to go ahead and sew one just to make sure everything is good, and then I will sew the other one. All right, so the sleeves are attached now, and I'm trying to decide what I want to do regarding the collar. Let me see how this looks. So this jacket has a collar that has a ruffle around the edge, and I'm kind of thinking the ruffle will be a little bit too much for the way I want to do this. So I'm thinking I'm just going to line the collar and make it a little bit more simple, which will correspond with the pocket flaps on the skirt. And I think that'll look really nice. So I may also kind of round this out a little bit more. I don't love how pointy the collar is. So I'm going to play around with that a little bit. So the lining to the collar, and then I can baste it in place. And then that is my stopping point for today. Okay, I softened the collar points just slightly using my stitching as I sewed it to the under collar. And I do think this is going to look just a little bit more my style. So I'm going to turn this right side out and make sure I like the look of it, and then I can baste the collar to the jacket. I am going to clip these curves just to make sure everything's nice and clean when I turn it right side out. I just tried the jacket on really quickly now that I have the collar basted on, and I'm already excited about this because I feel like it's looking so cute. So I'm excited to get the lining added in this weekend. But for now, I'm going to take a little break and come back to it tomorrow. All right, hello friends. I am back today to work on the lining for the jacket, and I'm really excited because I've already tried the jacket on and I really love the way it fits. So the first thing I'm going to do is just assemble the facing and attach this to the outside of the jacket. And then I can assemble my lining, which is basically the same as the outside of the jacket, just with a couple of pleats in it. So it should be pretty simple. And we will see if we can get this finished up today. One thing that I did realize is that I have completely neglected to do interfacing on this jacket. And if you followed me for a while, you know I am not a big fan of interfacing in general because I feel like it looks great when you first finish the project, but with wearing and washing, it typically, at least in my experience, it doesn't look so good. It kind of crumples up or just doesn't look as fresh. And so we are just doing it without interfacing today, and hopefully I don't live to regret that. We will see. But I'm going to go ahead and stitch up these seams on the facing and then get that lining assembled. So for the lining, there are two places where you pleat the lining. One is at the top of the back of the jacket, and then one is at the side of the front. So I'm going to go ahead and pin those pleats in place as well, and then get this all stitched up. One little detail on this pattern that I love is the hanging loop for the jacket. So I've just made this tiny little tube of the outer fabric, and then I'm going to just go ahead and pin this right over the pleat here so that it is easy to sew into place. This is a synthetic fabric that I'm using for the lining. I have this in my fabric stash from something a long time ago, I think. I can't even remember. It may have lined another jacket or something. So I'm ironing it on a really cool setting, but trying to really make sure it's nice and smooth. Okay, I now have the lining assembled, the facing assembled, and the outer part of the jacket assembled. So I'm going to add the facing first, and then I'll sew the lining to the facing. Okay, so now just a few little things to finish this up. At some point I'm going to use the machine and stitch the lining and the facing through all layers right here, just to secure everything behind the collar so that it sits a little bit more nicely. I'll give everything a good press and then go ahead and turn up the hem on both the bottom of the jacket and the sleeves. And then from there, it's just buttons and buttonholes, which I will come back and chat to you about here in a few minutes. All right, so here is what we're looking like so far. The lining is in place, and I've just pinned the hem all the way around the bottom, so I'm going to sew that in by hand. I love the way the lining looks. I also ran a little row of stitching underneath the collar just to keep everything nice and tidy. So I'm going to work on the hem now, and then I will try it on and check the sleeve length and then hem the sleeves. All right, we are almost done with the jacket. I've gone ahead and done all of the hems on the sleeves as well as the bottom of the jacket. And now it's time to add buttonholes. Now I do need to run to Joann's because I only have 2 more of these little buttons that I had in my stash. And I really want these to match across the jacket and the skirt. So I am going to go pick up some more of those, but look how cute it looks together. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and mark all of my buttonholes using the buttonhole guide here. Sew those in place, and then we'll make a quick little run to the fabric store to get the rest of the buttons. All right, all of the buttonholes are sewn. Now, something that will never fail to give me anxiety when it comes to sewing is cutting into the buttonholes on the piece that you spent all of the time making. So something that my sister recommended I do recently is put a little bit of fray check on the buttonholes before cutting into them. So I'm going to do that and then leave it to dry while I go pick up the other buttons. All right, that is good to go. So I'm going to run and get the buttons, and then we can finish up the rest of the jacket. All right, so the set is done and I am so happy with how it turned out. I really need to clean this mirror. I think I've been saying that for the last couple of videos, but I think it turned out so sweetly and I really love it. And it's just a great little versatile combination of pieces because I can really easily wear this jacket with jeans or other looks, and then the skirt, same thing, can go together or just as separates. So I'm really happy with it. So I think that's everything for today's project. I hope you enjoyed watching it come together. I am about to get started sewing something that I'm really excited for. I'm going to be launching channel memberships here on my YouTube channel, which is something a little bit different for me, but I've been learning about it from YouTube for the past couple of months. We're going to be calling it the Cozy Sewing Club, and nothing will change on my channel, but this will just be in addition. I will have a bonus video every month for anyone who wants to be a channel member, and we're going to make a fun project, and you have the opportunity to send me photos of your project, and then I will share everybody's at the end of each month. So I'm working on the December project, which I'm very excited about, and I can't wait to share with you soon. Go to the community tab on my channel if you want to find more information about channel memberships and how to join, and it will be a way for you guys to support me if that's something you're interested in. But I'm very excited to have the Cozy Sewing Club getting off the ground here in the next couple of days. It will also include a discount to my website if you want a discount on my merch or my patterns. So it's going to be very fun, and I'm just looking at the project cut out over on my ironing board. I can't wait to work on it. But thank you so much for spending your time here on my channel today. I hope you're all having a wonderful and cozy start to the holiday season. If you would like to subscribe to my channel and you haven't yet, you can do that by clicking the button down below, and I would really appreciate your support and you sticking around. I will talk to you all in a new video very soon. Thank you again for hanging out with me today, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. All right, hello. Whoa, wow, that was lovely. All right.